What is your purpose? Why are you here?
Do you know that the harder thing to do and the right thing to do are usually the same thing? Nothing that has meaning is easy.
You keep telling yourself what you know, but what do you believe?
Figure out what you want. Ignore the opinions of others. Do so much work, it would be unreasonable that you fail.
He who has a why can bear almost any how.
If you have enough reason. See, reasons will change your whole life.
Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
Trust your instincts. Don't think, just do. You think up there, you're dead. Believe me.
So, do you want to take a leap of faith? Or become an old man, filled with regret, waiting to die alone?
Mr. Shelf said to me, he said, Mr. Rohn, I think you've got plenty of intelligence, you've got plenty of talent, you've got plenty of ability. Probably what you lack is plenty of reasons.
Because what people don't get is one day that thing's going to come up. But we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us because the very purpose is you.
Come, you're up so early. Say, if you were headed where I'm headed, you'd be up early too. If you were gonna meet who I'm gonna meet, you'd be up early. If it was gonna stack up for you like it's stacking up for me, you'd be getting up early.
One day you're going to see it. That happiness was always about the discovery, the hope, the listening to your heart, and following it wherever it chose to go. Happiness was always about being kinder to yourself. It was always about embracing the person you were becoming.
I say chase your dreams, man. Do that thing, man, that keeps you up at night. That thing that bothers you, man, that makes you trip. You can't quit thinking about it. You always, that thing, man, that you wake up in the middle of the night, you got a new idea. That's what you got to chase. Because anything else, you're gonna forever be sad, man. If you don't chase that dream, you're gonna forever be miserable, man.
The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenges.
The only real antidote to worry is purposeful action. Everything that gets you to the point where you can take purposeful action, where you can move, and as Shakespeare says, take arms against the sea of troubles, and by so doing end them. Anything that gets you to the point where you can take purposeful action will eliminate the worry. Why? Because of what we call the law of substitution.
The only way to discover what your why is or what you love is you must experience as many different things as you can. You can't just read about something. You can't just hear someone talk about something. You must experience as many different things as you can. That is the only way. Otherwise, you fall into the trap of doing something you don't love because you never actually tried it beforehand.
The great line is if you want to find out what you should do in life, what do you think about all the time? That's your God.
Your purpose in life is something that you're born with. It's like your destiny. This is what you were meant to accomplish. But we humans are not born with that purpose engraved in our heads. You know, animals don't wake up and go, what am I going to do today? I can go here. I can hunt for this animal. I can hunt for that animal. I can eat this. No, they don't. They operate by instinct. They have a purpose. It's automatic almost. We have to find our purpose. And because it's so deep and it's so important that if we don't find it, we'll find it somewhere else. We need something to live for.
Reasons come first, answers come second. You don't get the answers to do well till you get the reasons. Life has a mysterious way of hanging on to all the answers and only gives them up to the people that are inspired by reasons.
The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be.
That if you don't get busy and work on it, sure enough, the time will pass. And sure enough, 5 years from now, you'll wind up where you don't want to be, wearing what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't want to drive, being what you don't want to be. Now's the time to fix it.
Jimmy Carr broke my brain with this one. Everyone is jealous of what you've got. No one is jealous of how you got it.
You have to let it all go, Neo. Fear, doubt, and disbelief. Free your mind.
If you don't know where you want to go or who you want to be, you eventually just float around and you eventually crash.
Strange thing about faith and fear, they both demand you believe something you can't see.
We all think about quitting, shit's hard.
There's going to be days when you're aching and tired and sore, and there's people in your family that are sick, and you're cynical and bitter, and you need a reason to get up.
And I want to talk to you about discovering your purpose. Do you know when you discover your purpose, that's when your life really begins? Think about it. You know, it's been said there's two important days in your life. The day you're born and the day you discover why you were born. It's why you get out of bed in the morning. It's why you get up and get going. You have a purpose in life. Now, without a purpose, you're just wandering around. No direction. See, I honestly believe every one of us are hardwired to do something. There's something, we've got a talent and ability within us that will just blossom when we find it.
See, you can do anything. You can get up any hour, read any book, take any class, make any change, develop any skill, do any discipline. And my personal question to you is, why not you?
What do you want to be? You know, I don't want to be anything. I am everything I want to be. And I'm already there. You know? I don't want anything. You know, people say, I want this. I want to do this and I want to do that. But the vibe you're putting out is want. You're always going to want. You know, I always have the attitude that I have.
I don't care what you do. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's you that counts. And the more you understand you, the better your results you're going to get.
You have to be crazy enough to think that it's possible.
Sometimes you have to create a delusion, even if you have to lie yourself into believing that.
That's how you do something worthwhile.
I would look up everything about being a person of faith, confidence, even things about charisma. You know, I would just study everything that I wasn't, and I put in hours and hours and hours. And I took lots of notes, and I just watched my world slowly start to change. My demeanor, my confidence level, and the things that I expected from myself, things that I genuinely believed that I could be and I could do, it started to happen. Year after year, my world started to become better and better.
If you keep living your life for what you want today, you will not be creating the life you want tomorrow.
You have got to start expecting great things to happen for you in order for it to happen. It is the law of attraction. It is real. It is nothing fake about it. The Bible says a man is as he thinketh.
When you get to the point where it hurt real bad, when you get to the point you can't take it no more, when you get to that point, you cannot quit during the process. You cannot give up.
You know what I want you to understand? Everything you say yes to is you saying no to something else. There is nothing you say yes to that doesn't cost you something. And you need to pay attention to what you're saying yes to, because you may actually be saying no to your future.
Whenever you think of anything that causes you any concern, just say to yourself, I can do it. I can do that. I can do anything. I can do anything I put my mind to. Those are the magic words that eventually undercut and erode and wash away any fear that may be holding you back. And you repeat those over and over as affirmations, and you program them deep into your subconscious mind. At a certain point, you override all the negativity from your environment.
What's your why? If I don't give y'all nothing else, you better start that. What's your why? You know why I do what I do, and I do it so passionately? Because my grandfather was a high school dropout, my father was a high school dropout, I was a high school dropout, and we about to break the cycle. I do what I do so my son won't have to go through what I went through. I'm about to give everything I got, and I will know if I don't get another gig, it won't have anything to do with the fact that I didn't put everything on the field. What's your why? Why do you wake up in the morning?
You have to believe you'll be all right. The universe will take care of the rest.
You know, why do I just keep getting up and going and going and going? But I had a purpose before everybody had an opinion. It's not about anybody else. It's not about anybody else. It's just about going to do it because that's what you want. That's what you set out there to go do. So I've always been my biggest critic, and you continue to stay that way.
Charles, you have finally lost your senses. This venture is impossible.
For some. Gentlemen, the only way to achieve the impossible is to believe it is possible.
That kind of thinking could ruin you.
I'm willing to take that chance.
When you concentrate and work intensely on an important task, it gives you a feeling of energy and enthusiasm. When you complete an important task, your self-esteem goes up. You feel like a winner. You feel great about yourself.
Power of the mind is not to be underestimated.
I asked the kids, how long should a baby try to learn how to walk? How long? How long would you give your average baby before you shut him off? How long? See, any mother in the world would say, you're crazy. My baby's going to keep trying until it learns how to walk. What a magic formula.
My coach told me, Coach Smith told me I'll never be nothing. From that day forward, I made a promise that I will give it everything I got. I'm ready to die for what I had to succeed. I have to give it everything I got. That way I'm a winner no matter what.
Only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go.
Your laziness is something that has to do with you. You're not connected to something deep enough. You don't feel the necessity. You don't feel the devil at your heels. You don't feel the fact that you could very well die tomorrow that will impel you to get something done. There's no necessity behind it. And the human animal, the way we were created, is when we feel pressure, we feel the necessity to get things done. We can move mountains. But when that pressure releases and we don't feel the need to get something done, we can become incredibly lazy because there's no necessity.
One, it has been proven now scientifically that an affirmative thought is hundreds of times more powerful than a negative thought.
Your goals are affecting you, whatever they are. Your goals affect your attitude, personality. Your goals affect the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress. All day long, we're being affected by our goals. Now, some people have goals, but they have such lousy goals. I asked a guy one time, what are your goals for this month? The guy said, look, if I could just scrape up enough money to pay these lousy bills. That was his goal. I'm not saying it isn't a goal. It's a goal, but it's such a lousy goal, the effect is bad.
Is there a version of yourself that's better than you are right now? And most people, hopefully, would say yes. It's like, great, accept that person. To me, when we talk about the authenticity, accepting yourself is accepting the ideal that we can live up to. And that is what we accept, not the shitty version of that we are today.
Someone grabbed your throat and squeezed it. What would you think about? The only thing in the world is oxygen.
Yeah,
right?
getting free.
How do I get more in?
Getting free.
But you're not thinking about it right now because it's abundant. It's not on your mind. But what you don't realize is when money is lacking in your life, it focuses all the time. I would do that for my kids, but I can't. I'd love to take that vacation, but I can't. I'd love to do my own thing. I'm sick of this unfulfilled job, but I can't. I'd love to be at every baseball game, but I can't. It all boils down to money. I don't care what anybody says. You have the money, you're in control of your decisions, you're in control of your calendar.
If you have a list of tasks to do, and you choose to do your most important task, and you complete it, you get a rush. It's called an endorphin rush, and your brain releases endorphins, which flood your system and make you actually feel exhilarated. You almost laugh out loud. You're happy. Your heart rate goes up. You're smiling. Sometimes you will stay and will work late at night to complete a task, and you get it done at 2 or 3 in the morning, and you finish it. And even though you should be exhausted, you're happy. You can't sleep.
Most people are thinking about what they don't want, and they're wondering why it shows up over and over again. You become what you think about most of the time.
Now we come to the final question. What is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of your life? Why are you here? Why do you exist at all? Why do you get up in the morning? Why do you have a life? Why are you on the earth? Is it simply to be born, to grow up, to work, to reproduce, to die? Or is there something else? In my estimation, there is something else.
Because we're meant to grow. If you ask me, what does it take to be happy? You met millions of people. What does it take? So many people are unhappy. Well, relationships are one of the keys to that, but there is one key even within relationship: progress. progress equals happiness. If you go and achieve some huge goal, if you've ever done this, and then you achieve it, you have one or two experiences, you either go, is this all there is? After you achieved it, which is horrible, it feels worse than failing. Or you go, wow, this is amazing, and you celebrate. But how long do you feel good for after achieving some great goal?
The true purpose of life, in my estimation, is to find a mission. Some of the wisest men and women of this century and of previous centuries have looked at this whole idea of why a human being is put on this earth, and they've come to the conclusion that we are put on this earth to fulfill our potential by finding our true mission in life.
When you believe that your miracle is already on its way, when you believe that you are worthy of it, the universe has no choice but to manifest it for you. Right now, as you focus on the greatness you want to experience, the circumstances of your life begin to shift. You might not see it with your physical eyes yet, but trust that the forces at play are working for your good. The power of your inner state creates the outer world you live in. By seeing your miracle already in existence, you are commanding the universe to respond with the exact circumstances needed for its manifestation.
The greatest achievement of somebody comes right after their worst defeat. When they've hit rock bottom, hit the bottom of the barrel, they got nothing left. Everyone's given up on them. They've lost all their worldly possessions. They're dead broke on their back. It's at that point, guys, when everything's lost, that everything can be gained. There's no more ego there, is there? They let go of, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if I don't like, what if this person rejects me? The animosity, the pressures of society, let it all go because they've lost it all. They're just now left with the intestinal fortitude, the pride within. Do I want to stay on the bottom of this barrel or do I climb the fuck out of this hole?
Decide what you want and begin to do positive statements in present tense for what you want. You never want to say, I will have or I'm going to have, because if you do that, it keeps it in the future. And remember, if you say, I have a wonderful new apartment and you're living in a dump, it doesn't mean that this is not a true statement. It means you are planting the seed that will germinate and grow and become the new apartment.
The strongest individuals are not those who never experience negative thoughts, but those who refuse to be controlled by them. Because you know that success is not reserved for the few, it's claimed by those who decide they deserve it.
But once you realize you're not going to be around forever, I think that's what makes life so magical. One day you'll eat your last meal, smell your last flower, hug your friend for the very last time. You might not know it's the last time. So that's why you should do everything you love with passion, Treasure the few years you've got, because that's all there is.
Isn't on the mood today.
Mood?
Yeah.
What's mood to do with it? You fight when the necessity arises, no matter the mood. Now fight!
Everything happens in the perfect time-space sequence, and we want to trust that and we want to know that.
It's this quote that I love, but it's fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. And so you look at it, it looks like this ocean, and then you take the first step and you realize you don't drown.
Face them. To conquer fear, you must become fear. Fear is why you fail.
No, I'm not afraid. I'm angry.
You are your own worst enemy. You waste precious time dreaming of the future instead of engaging in the present. Since nothing seems urgent to you, you're only half involved in what you do.
The universe only gives us what we think we're worthy of receiving. So then people who show up for themselves every day, they start feeling pretty damn worthy. Like they're like, I'm worthy for this. Not like an entitlement way, like something. They just like, I feel like it's gonna happen. I'm worthy for it.
You're not ready for what you want until you believe you can get it. All things are possible if you believe.
Act as if nothing affects you, because once your emotions belong to the world, your power is no longer your own. They will test you. They will provoke you. But a mind anchored in purpose cannot be moved. Lincoln lost more elections than most men have dreams, but he never blinked. Edison failed thousands of times and called each one a lesson. The giants walk through fire and don't flinch, because their vision burns hotter than the flames. You must master stillness in chaos. Train your mind to hold the image of who you're becoming, even when life shakes your foundation. Discipline your emotions. Guard your energy. Move with calm. Speak with clarity. Act with unbreakable intent. Not because you're numb, but because you are focused. Because nothing outside of you is stronger than the decision within you. And when the world can't shake you, it has no choice but to follow you.
I think as a competitor, if you're trying to do something meaningful, if you don't have the mindset that you're the best ever, you failed already. So if you don't have the mindset that you are the best reporter ever, then you already failed. But before you can ever reach anything, you have to believe it. You don't just mistakenly become great at something.